Hi, it's Alex from Stadler Khan, once again coming to you in spring with two recipes which both have to do with that springtime favorite, the incredible edible egg. Eggs are very important if you're celebrating Pesach, Passover, or if you're celebrating Easter, or if you're a big mishmash like me, it's Pesach on Saturday night, then you wake up Sunday morning and hunt for eggs and candy. Whee! So, we are having two recipes tonight using the incredible edible egg. And the first is pain perdu, French for bread pudding. The second is my addition to the Pesach table, the delicious, delectable, and delightful, and always desired, deviled egg. So, we're going to start with pain perdu, and I'll talk a little bit why, for me, pain perdu has to do with Passover. There's a lot of bread lying around at Pesach time because people are only eating matzah in a lot of households, so there's stale bread everywhere, and stale bread is the basis of pain perdu, but also you deal with the afikomen at Passover time. You break a matzah, you hide one half, and you keep one half, and then the children run around and they find the hidden half, and you talk about the fact that something that was broken or destroyed or lost can be repaired or brought back together or made anew. And with pain perdu, we are taking stale bread. Pain perdu meaning lost bread in French. We are taking stale bread, in this case, delicious stale country white from Metropolitan Bakery in Philadelphia, one of my favorite loaves for any meal. This bread is like rocks. It's been around for a week, and you would think there's nothing good that will come of this bread, but you will see, actually, that we are going to transform it into a luscious, delectable, and exceedingly comforting dessert. So, we begin. First, a stickish of cold butter cut into chunks. Maria Bamford, cut into chunks. And about 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Yeah. Estelle is going to do her magic and grind, I think. 1, 2, 3. Grind it into a powder. You're creaming the butter and sugar, so you want it granular. Sandy heaven. Okay, so all of your chunks of crusty bread. Half of our butter sugar creamed nicely in the bowl. Our bread. Dump our butter and sugar. This recipe is a riff on Nora Ephron's bread pudding from Heartburn, which, if you've already read it, you should read again. We miss Nora. And if you haven't read it, you must read it. It is such a lovely meditation on food, love, marriage. Read it. Heartburn. She got this recipe from Chez Hélène in New Orleans, and it's basically that exact same recipe with a few little tweaks, which I'll talk about. Into our bread and sugar, we are going to put a goop made of eggs. These beautiful eggs, look, there's even a green one, came from my friend Dree. Her wonderful company is Tiny Crush Society. If you want a workhorse dress that will last you for the rest of your life, go to tinycrushsociety.com. She also has chickens, so naturally we're big friends. So, 5 eggs. Gloop. Beat your eggs. Snoo, snoo, snoo. Beat them well until they lighten in color a little bit and are nicely amalgamated. About a cup of milk. You can really, bread pudding is extremely forgiving in terms of these proportions, so don't fret. And Nora's magic ingredient, Chez Hélène, really, Chez Hélène's magic ingredient, which is sweetened condensed milk. I like that brand. Sweetened condensed milk, about a half a can into my recipe. Sweetened condensed milk is the thing that makes Thai or Vietnamese iced coffees so caramelly and mysterious, and it will do the same thing to pain perdu or lost bread. Beat that in as best you can. And then because I am whatever I say I am, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't use Maldon salt, a pinch of Maldon salt, a little bit of vanilla, maybe a teaspoon, or vanilla, as my friend Danny Davidoff used to say. And here's my twist. This is Fiori di Sicilia, flowers of Sicily. This comes from the King Arthur Baking Company catalog. Fiori di Sicilia is a very mysterious extract used in Italian baking where we would use vanilla, and it is a combination of vanilla and then floral citrusy notes, and it gives a very old world deepness to any vanilla tasting cake. A few drops. It's powerful. So that's plenty. And people will say, what is that taste? It's almost like baby aspirin used to taste when I was a child. St. Joseph's, which I ate like candy. I don't know what that did to my brain. Maluna, eggs, milk, condensed milk, vanilla, salt. Shmoo it in. Get all of it, because it's heaven. Custard, so yummy. Put it to the side. You could do this with a spoon, but just your hands are a much better tool for this operation. There you go. You don't have to worry about it too much. It just needs to soak a little bit. It'll look like that. Clean off your hands with a rag. Now we're going to do my cousin Sarah Stadler's trick. You take your butter wrapper and you have a tiny little nut of butter on it, and you rub all around the town. And this way you can grease a pan without being a greasy grease monkey. Thanks, Sarah. She keeps these in the freezer after she unwraps butter and then has them on hand whenever the need calls. Then, la-di-da, 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 as Annie Hall would say. Shmoo it down into your pan. You can make this in a loaf pan and then cut it into delicious slices. Any heat-proof baking utensil. Press it down. And if you wanted to, and you were Nigella Lawson, you could add Demiwawa sugar for crunch. But I don't have any Demiwawa sugar, so there won't be any crunch, except for the crispy bits at the top. You're going to pop this into a 350-degree barking dog oven and bake it for about 45 minutes or until it's brown on top. Then we'll come back and I'll show you what to do when it's brown on top. So what I never understood about the Passover table was why you had hard-boiled eggs and why they couldn't be deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs. Almost everyone besides my friend Danny loves deviled eggs, and people never get enough deviled eggs. So on the Passover table, if you come to my house, on your little plate next to your herb and your salt water and your bone and your scallion for whipping people to mock slavery, there's a deviled egg. Here's how you do it. Boil your eggs. Bring the water to the boil. Put them in a cold pot of water. Bring the water to a boil. Turn it off. Leave it alone for an hour. Then tap them all over until the egg shell shatters and peel them under running lukewarm water. That's the easiest way I know. Then, when you have lovely boiled eggs, cut them in half. Do you know why in France they eat only one egg? Because in France, one egg is enough. So, then, yolks in the bowl. No. Don't worry if there's a little bit of water. If there's a ton, pour it off. But if there's a little bit, don't fret. My trick to deviled eggs is if you've boiled 10, remove 1 half, maybe 2 halves, because you want your eggs a little overstuffed. That's another problem with deviled eggs. They never have enough stuffing. So give these as a snack to some protein-deprived child or dog. Now, into your bowl, you're going to put mayonnaise. I like Hellmann's. I grew up on Hellmann's. If you're from down south, you might want Duke's. Maybe like a 1/4 cup for every 8 to 10 egg yolks, a little bit more. You don't want it too mushy liquidy. I would not recommend Miracle Whip because Miracle Whip is really not mayonnaise at all, is it, really? I mean, let's be honest. Miracle Whip is some kind of... I don't really know what Miracle Whip is, but it doesn't have any business in these eggs. Yellow mustard. Don't get fancy. Not French, not blah, just yellow American mustard. Couple splashes of Tabasco. Wiki wiki. And you don't need salt. This is one of the few occasions in my life when I don't add salt. I do put in just a whisper, a hair's breadth of curry powder. Beep, beep, beep. And my little trick, dill pickle relish. You can buy dill pickle relish in the jar, or you can just chop up dill pickles. Then shmoo it around. This is fun. Oh, like I said earlier in another show, Tasks for a Child. Honey, why don't you just mush this? Because they can't over mush it, and they will have a good time doing it, and it'll occupy them. Get them off that stupid little screen for 5 seconds. Shmoo it, shmoo it, shmoo it. Shmoo it, shmoo it, shmoo it. Then, take your Ziploc bag and turn over the lip on a glass. This may or may not work, but it usually does. And then transfer your gunk, your gunji gunk, into the little bag. Get it all in there. La la la. Don't waste anything. Your ancestors did not struggle through slavery to freedom so that you could waste eggs. Now, take this. Zip your zip, if you can. This is a little messy. The nice thing about this is it's going to make the process of stuffing the eggs quick like a bunny. Put that over there. You have your plate with your little empty, voided egg halves. Cut just the tip of your plastic bag. Don't get it in your eggs. And then watch this. It's like a pastry bag. Woo! 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 Come on. Oh, I have to make my tip a little bit bigger. There's like an egg chunk blocking traffic. So maybe make your, there we go. 1, 2, 3. I'll hold one up so you can see in my hand. It's very fun. You feel like you're like a catering chef. You can make, I have made 200 of these. They go fast, fast, fast. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Blah. We even have extra. So if we wanted to bring back our other halves from before, we can, because we know there's plenty of stuffing. And one last one. Come to Papa. Blah. I'm getting a little messy, but we're still okay. Alright. That wasn't pretty. Now, you could do minced chives over the top. I just like a little extra curry powder. Of course, traditional is paprika. You want to sprinkle, anytime you sprinkle from a height. Sprinkle from a height so that it disperses and you don't get any big nasty clumps. Nobody likes a big clump of curry powder in their mouth. Or paprika. Paprika is lovely in a stew, but in a clump it tastes like dirt. Now, here we have beautiful Pesachian or Easterovian deviled eggs, a la me. And I'm going to do something in the next step. But if you're very kosher or frightened by pork, avert your eyes. Don't look. Turn off the TV right now. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so here's the thing. My favorite way to make deviled eggs is to put crumbled bacon on the top. Now, I have never dared put these on my Passover table, despite what an abominably raised by wolves Jew I am. But I think about it every year. I just am worried about being smoted or smited or smitten or smote, so I don't do it. But if I was very, very brave and tempted fate, I would do this. I would take a few slices of lovely applewood bacon and onto each deviled egg. And this is what I do in summertime or anytime I make these except for, for a religious holiday. So, eggs, bacon. Classic combination. And if you're anyone besides Danny Siegel, it's a deviled egg with bacon. And it's very yummy. And a lovely starter to almost every meal. Now, we're going to finish our pain perdu, our lost bread, eggity egg, eggity egg, eggity egg. After about 45 minutes, check your pain perdu. Check your bread pudding. It should start to be browning on top. And then, when it's golden on the top, after about 45 minutes or an hour, take it and turn it. From the bottom to the top, as Joan Armatrading would sing. From the bottom to the top, to the limit, here we go. From the bottom to the top. I love Joan, Didion, and Armatrading. Here we go. Shmoo it up and down. Googie, googie, googie. Soak it back down in its goodness. Take any dry pieces and push them down into the lovely battery mess of your custard. You can be pretty thorough about this. Then, you've turned it. It to look like this. Back in the oven. Back in the oven you go. Back in the oven you go. And bake for 1 more hour. Here we have Bernadette, the bread pudding, or Pauline, the pain perdu, or Paulette, maybe Paulette, the pain perdu. Ah, ma Paulette. So, it's crusty on the top, it's beautifully brown, and it's wonderfully custardy on the inside. Get a lovely bite that has crunch. And then you dive down through the crunch to the wonderful custard below. Mario Batali said, most cooking is about making things which are crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside. Pain perdu is that. Happy Easter, happy Passover, and more importantly, if you're me, happy spring! We made it through that grim gray winter. I'll see you all soon. Stop by StylerCon if you feel like it, 1724 Sansom Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with everything you don't ever need. Bye.